Alrighty guys, welcome back to the Combustion Gamer YouTube channel, and we've got a new game to play. We are in Assetto Corsa, the original. We are at track. We already got time going for practice, but we were able to get this for a pretty cheap deal off of Steam, and a few DLCs added on as well. So let's get into it. How does the game look? We got some clouds blowing through. That looks pretty interesting. It's definitely... Oh, hold on. There we go. Now we got ourselves connected. Very good. I was wondering, I was like, we're not connected there. So, what's interesting about this game is you got a lot of different options right here with your mouse. You can do a bunch of different stuff with customizing your HUD. We got our presets right here that we can see currently while we're in pit road. That'll go away once we get out on the track. We got lots of different AI options, and you can see how good the track looks. I mean, look at the clouds going through. That is pretty neat looking. Alrighty, so how does this game compare to Project Cars 2? First, let me turn down my earphone there just a little bit, not too much. Need to be able to hear the car. It's definitely different from Project Cars 2 in several ways. You can see the graphics of this game all the way from 2014. Not too terrible. Pretty good, all things considered. We are currently on the hood cam, as that is just one of my favorites to be able to use. One thing that I can tell you is that the rear tires do step out quite a bit compared to what I would be expecting. Got stability control on 10% at the moment, just to keep the car from totally turning around every 10 seconds. So a little bit icy on the handling. Not the biggest fan of that, as I've mentioned before. Cars do tend to have a little bit more grip than what you might think. Now obviously we got cold tires on, so we would expect to have a little bit more rotation, which is fine, but later on into the run, once the tires have warmed up and once the track has reached a higher temp, as long as we don't hit the curve there, we would expect to have a much better grip level hitting corners and stuff, not have the car rotating every 10 seconds. So obviously you have tire wear that factors into that as well, but for the most part we're not going to have a car running off the track in every corner if we enter with the right speed, even with the tires at optimal temp and the track at optimal temp. So having a little bit of stability control can kind of help simulate a better tire grip model versus what you might otherwise experience. So we're here at Catalunya, Barcelona. One of my all-time favorite tracks. We're running the MotoGP version of the track, which of course is the newer version of the F1 circuit that they've been using of late, which is pretty cool. Definitely like that style better than the I forget what it's called, like chicane or something like that. But definitely enjoy this configuration a little bit better. Ooh, get off the curb. There we go. So we're driving the Audi R8 at the exact moment. Beautiful sounding car. The engine sounds in the game really, really good. You can definitely tell that they're from pre-2018. Kind of, it seems like, at least to me anyways, games in 2018 kind of got a bit of a different sound update. It started sounding a little bit better, but that might just be me. Graphics on the car, look at that. You get a little bit of reflection and sheen from the environment on the car. Looks pretty good. Decent lights too. You can definitely tell they're a little bit off because you wouldn't see as much. Yeah, there's like a bunch of glow from the lights. You wouldn't necessarily see that in the daytime. At night you definitely would, but during the daytime you wouldn't necessarily see that. So not terrible, pretty good. Overall, how does the car handle compared to Project Cars 2? That's kind of what I'm basing my experience from. Pretty decent, honestly. It definitely, while the tires, it does have a little bit better when the tires are cool, having the car be a little bit more upset to some degree, trying to go hard. I mean, Project Cars 2 does a really good job of doing that as well. having cold tires trying to hit track and not having them warmed up makes it a little bit hard. But this definitely has quite a few more instances where you're at different speeds or trying to accelerate at different times on track, and it really does try to bring the car around on you a lot more than what I think it should anyways. Also, you do have some different downshift protections and stuff. I'm trying to kind of practice a little more downshifting into corners. That's really helping me with being able to make the corners just a little bit better. Been practicing that with Project Cars 2 as well. But taking a look at the how the track looks, all things considered, it's definitely a little bit muted. Ooh, getting a little flat spot there on the front tire, so you do get that indication, which haven't really felt a whole lot of that in like the driving itself. Like, hey, you got a flat spot. Haven't really felt anything flat spotting on the tires with long runs, so not totally sure how that affects the game. It shows you that kind of warning, so I guess it's good to help you fix your driving style if that is indeed a problem. You can see quite a bit of movement with the camera as you hit the different bumps and stuff, so that's pretty good. Take a look at the different camera angles and stuff that we have here in a second. Get a car to my outside, let him by. Now, one thing I will say is that getting the controls set up for my driving style was a lot easier than Project Cars 2. Project Cars 2, you definitely have to tinker around with them quite a bit to get the dead zones and everything done so it looks pretty decent, but once you do, it's pretty good. So here we go in the inside cam. See a lot of shaking and shifting around inside the cabin. Taking a look at the outside cam. Gotta say, I can't stand the outside cam in this game. It is awful. Just with how the car moves around is just... And this is even worse. You can't customize how the camera looks. You're looking down at the car. I cannot stand looking down at the car. If it's a little bit more horizontal, works, but looking down at the car, nope, can't do that. Definitely my favorite cam in this is probably hood cam. I kind of like the roof cam more in Project Cars 2, just with how the POV is. But with this, definitely liking more of the excuse me, more of the hood cam. Definitely liking the hood cam a little bit more in this particular game. The track modeling seems to be really good. Obviously 2014, so not sure when track scan and everything else was scanned necessarily, and trying to compare that to other games, not sure how to do that, but it looks pretty decent. You got a good amount of texture on the grass, and I mean, watching the clouds roll around here as well, pretty neat also. I will say the cloud model, just with how they're moving around and stuff, is a little bit better than Project Cars 2. Project Cars 2 is more of just like the horizon slowly changes, not really any clouds nearby unless you run in the fog or the haze. If you run in fog and haze, then it actually kind of gets down to the track and kind of moves around. This is definitely a little bit more in-depth cloud moving. Definitely seems like it's more of a like a flight sim cloud, kind of encircles you wherever your POV is, and it just keeps on circling around. Kind of seems like it's more like that. So overall, as far as I know, there's no rain in Assetto Corsa, as far as I know. Anyways, haven't experienced any rain or seen any options for that. Getting myself back on track here. So nothing we can really do. There is some different track surfaces that you can add on before you get into a race, which is pretty neat. So we'll show you that here in a bit. But I do have to say, sound of the game is really good. The overall look of the game is pretty decent as well. Definitely would go with Project Cars 2 on the looks and sound as well. I would go with Project Cars 2 on the sound. I mean, the sound's not bad in this, but let's just stop here. Yeah, so like there's cars right over there on that other side. Can't even hear them. There's like no ambient of the cars racing around. You can see the cars, which is pretty cool. The definitely doing a good job of rendering that. But yeah, you cannot hear the cars when they're just a little bit away. So that's a bit of an issue. So this car definitely is, this game's definitely not winning anything for me for sound anyways. It definitely does not like cold starts, trying to get up to speed. Definitely not something that it likes. I haven't been able to get a good balance, I don't think, on AI yet. It seems like I can kind of just, excuse me, coming through here, dude. Seems like I can just kind of blow past them for the most part. They don't really seem to... Car trying to go different directions on me here. Got 5 laps here, but we got quite a few different cars. But yeah, as I said, the AI doesn't really seem to have that good of a competition. Getting spun out. Still getting spun out. You know what, if you just stop the... Hey, look at that, you figured it out. Yeah, so that's the first experience there with the AI, where they just basically just ignored my presence. So not impressed with that, overly. A little bit better in Project Cars 2 with the AI being able to actually try and work around you or force the issue. They can be kind of dumb as well, but not quite as dumb as that typically. That's more F1 NASCAR Heat dumbness there. Definitely close to NASCAR Ignition dumb. It was like, I'm not sure what he was trying to do. It seemed like I was holding a pretty good line myself. But apparently he didn't think so and wanted to run around me, so whatever. We'll get to this far side as this Corvette seems to want to be passed. But yeah, the modeling on the car is really, really good. But yeah, listen to that. So you can hear my engine, you cannot hear the other... So this car right here, you cannot hear him. So in Project Cars 2, you can hear him. So sound-wise, this is really not that good on the sound things. I do like the driving overall. Nice to be able to have another game to be able to test a different feel with, and it's definitely pretty fun for that. But yeah, you can just get on so much ice just coming out of a corner. It is pretty insane. Amazing racing, by the way, at the Rolex 24. If you haven't watched that, make sure you go back and see some highlight clips. It was the BMW versus Corvette show, and ultimately that kind of let the Mustangs come in and win 1 and 3, which was pretty neat to see a 1-3 finish. Ooh boy, that was interesting. 1-3 finish there for Mustang. That was pretty cool to see that happen in GTD Pro. So definitely neat to see American manufacturing there be able to win in that class. And also got to see the Corvette win in GTD over the Porsche, which was pretty surprising, as Porsche was looking really quite consistent there in that class for a long time. So that was pretty neat to be able to see the Corvette win. Alright, so now I think we have an idea of what the AI does. It seems like they're pretty slow on the very start of the race, but then once they spread out, they really start hitting the afterburners once it comes to how the cars are handling. So that is interesting to know. That's definitely a little bit different there from Project Cars 2. Project Cars 2, the cars obviously have different handling issues with tire wear, tire temps and stuff. They do change that throughout the entirety of the race. But in the first part of the race, they're pretty aggressive. They're going to try and move you around if they can and get around you at all costs. Ooh, looks like we might have had a bit of a stack up there in the infield, as everybody gets kind of stuck together there. That's interesting. From what I can tell, not really that impressive of a damage model on the car. Seems like everything's pretty... See if we can show you here. Yeah, you can see there's not really that much damage on the car, kind of just like some paint chips, yeah, and just like some scuffs and stuff, so not really, in my opinion, that impressive. As I said, I'm not feeling anything with that flat spot on the tire issue with handling of the car. It seems like you would feel that a little bit more, but I am not feeling anything really going on with that. Not sure what's how that overall affects the car long term, but it's definitely not feeling a whole lot going on with that. But yeah, luckily very easy to get this configuration for the controller and force feedback, also the dead zones and steering zones and all that. Very easy to get that kind of set up to where the car was comfortable versus, as I said, with Project S2, it takes a very long time to get that done. Is that there's just so many options to be able to work on, and then of course with different cars you might need to set it up a little bit differently. But a little bit easier just to be able to get this set up so that you can go. And there we go, session is over. And there we go, fading out as the other cars finish the line, and there we go. And there we go, fade out, race is over, and there we go, we get our leaderboard here, qualifying and all that, and we can see where everybody ended up finishing off and stuff. We, of course, 20 seconds, so we need to work on getting better on that. So let's see, so gap, total, so yeah, we were pretty slow there. I'm not sure if we get a timetable here. Oh, best lap, there we go, so 1:52, so fastest lap, we were actually doing pretty good there. Looking up here, fastest lap was by the 12:149. Good job for him. So we had a decent lap time. We definitely need to be a little bit more consistent. I can say that for sure. But we weren't terrible. Let's see. So this should be replay mode. Okay, first time looking at replay mode. Let's look at the options. We got stop right there. Ooh, that's very pretty. That's a pretty look, like that. Looking at options here, we are stop, but we can look at different camera options. We do have different camera options. That is neat. So we got different cameras we can look at with the car. We can look at TV1, TV2, TV3, and camera static. That's pretty cool. And we can look at different cars there as well. And also, there does appear to be a photo mode in the game, so that's pretty neat. We got 7 minutes and 39 seconds of replay mode. And we can watch it right from here. You can actually see, it's good to see the tire lockup, so that's pretty neat, being able to actually see that in the replay mode. Great camera angles, and you can see pretty smooth replay experience, all things considered, so that's pretty neat. But yeah, luckily you can come over here. This is obviously your HUD customization panel over here, and you can turn that all off. And everything fades away so you can just see the cars. So really good for being able to get screenshots of the cars and stuff. Definitely like that. So that's pretty neat. So that is replay mode. Like that. And then we can go to restart, which I'm not going to do. We're going to go to main menu here. So not terrible. And then obviously we get the finishing results and stuff. So we turn that. And then we're back to our main menu. So pretty nice. So we got our drive, we've got our career, which I didn't look at this quite yet. Skip all that. And we do have career mode, which I did not realize that we have, but we can obviously work through and get a bunch of different career progress. So that's interesting. Hadn't seen that. We do have our replay mode. See if we got anything in here. View auto saved. We have a few here, so you can see how much space they take up. Obviously you can go through and delete if you need to, and that will help free up space, but it's right there for you to be able to take care of that, so that's sweet. Options, we can come in here, we can do a benchmark with current settings and stuff if we needed to. Currently we're running our frame limit of 80 FPS. We do have full screen rendering on. We got 16 times filtering and anti-aliasing. That word. The AA samples. We got 4 times maximum wheel detail, ultra shadow resolution, which actually might bring that down a little bit lower, just to keep things a little bit on the cooler side. We got smoke. We can bring that down to high, I think. That'll be pretty good. And a few other things that we can probably bring down if we wanted to, and that'll help with some different things. We get color saturation, motion blur, we have that turned off. We got heat shimmering effects, and view. Currently got a 55 field of view is currently what we got glancing left and right. Got all these different options. Units, of course, we're doing the Imperial. And reflections and stuff, you can see all that. So quite a few different displays and audio. We got our controls that we can go through and customize. We got profile. I have general options that we can go through and change anything in there if we wanted to. And then of course back into drive we have quick race, which we can do. We can set our opponents' assists. We currently got that 10% stability control. We got 70% mechanical damage on. We currently have fuel consumption on 2 times the tire wear. We got that going on, and etc. Different options to be able to work on. So look at this. We can make our track surface optimum. We can make it dusty. We can make it old. We can make it green. Multiple things we can do with that. Time multiplier, ambient temperature. We can change this around if we wanted to. Wind direction. We can have strong winds and have it go in different directions. We can change that if we want to. None or random. Different things like that. We have light clouds or clear. We can also go to fog. We can go to heavy clouds. So different things like that. No rain option to be able to add in, but that's fine. We can put in penalties if we want to. Currently haven't really had need to do that yet, but that could be an option. Starting position has been last. Interesting. Put that to random. And then race duration, we can add different things right there. Summary, that's what that is. We can add our opponents. Ton of different opponents there with GT, GTR, etc. So that we can add in lots of different cars, which we'll get to in just a second. Let's look at the tracks. We've got ourselves Barcelona. We've got fictional USA Road, which is Black Cat County. We got Brad Hatch. Currently that's a DLC, so I don't think I can actually drive that, but it is there. We do have Highlands, Highlands Drift, Highlands Long, Highlands Short, which is Highlands original layout, which is in Scotland. We got Imola. We've got Laguna Seca, Maginio, Autodome, yeah, I'm not sure what that one is, but that's Italy. We got Monza. We got the Retro Monza, so we can actually race the full course circuit there, be able to do a little bit of oval action. They didn't add just the oval, which is rather interesting, but that's fine. We got Monza Junior. We have the Monza Road Course from 1966. We can race on that if we want to. We got that track right there, another one, Italy. We got basically Nürburgring. We got that. The Endurance Cup, we got all of these set up so you can drive on those roads, which is pretty cool. We got all of the GT courses and sprints. We got the Red Bull Ring, which is not available. Not available because that's DLC. We have Silverstone International, Silverstone National, 1967 Silverstone. A pretty neat layout. We got Silverstone GP. We got Spa, Vagalugia, or whatever that's called, multiple circuits on that one, and Zandvoort. So multiple tracks that we can race on, which is pretty neat. Taking a look at opponents, basically you up to like 24, 25 opponents that you can add in. You can go through and remove all these people. You can go in and select by brand, or you can just go by all and slowly work your way through, just add cars. Obviously any cars with DLC you can't add on, but if you want to, you can try and do that if you so desire. But yeah, multiple cars and brands to be able to select from. You've got the Toyota Celica there for the 4-wheel drive turbo vehicle that we can add in and race if we wanted to. So that's pretty neat. Selecting your own car, let's go in here. We can select our little Arbath, and we can go through and change colors on it. Some different colors. We can also go and change a few different settings. STD or the S1. That's interesting. I believe that's doing something with the power graph there. You can see that in the tune. So that's interesting. We got I'm not really sure what this is, but we do have a 360 view. I'm not sure what this is here though, like showroom. I think that's like take a look at it in the showroom, so interesting. And then obviously you can go start a session with this car direct and just hit that button there if you wanted to. We also have race weekend, so quick race that takes you straight to the race. This gives you the full qualifying and everything like that, being able to try out different stuff, so you got all that's going on. Championship, you can select some and make custom championships, so you can make special points standings. You can do practice length and have penalties. You can do multiple rounds of track, select the laps and the weather or track surface, and you can also do what cars are going to race, which is very neat to be able to do. I like that. Obviously, you have online mode and favorites. See what the favorites are. Currently, the favorites have been the Audi R8. No surprise from me there. And then drag race. This is pretty interesting. So this is a Italy course here. You can take it yeah, you can test this out, get multiple opponents, or not multiple opponents, just one opponent, but be able to run against them at Italy here. And you can do the 2,000 meter, the 1,000 meter, 200, 400, or 500. Typically like the 2,000 myself, but you can come in and select your opponent here, select your car right through here, and then look at summary before you start that event. So pretty cool. Challenges, you do have hot lap, special events, time attack, drift, you do have those, and you do have just practice. You can go and take your car and practice on any track that you want, as far as I can tell. So pretty cool. So let's go and do a drag race here real quick, just because this is pretty interesting. So we got select a car. We're gonna go with sure, we'll do the Arbath. We'll see how good it can do. We'll go 2,000. We'll see how far it can last, and then we'll get the other Arbath there. I think we can. Nope, we only can add one car, so only one car per session, so that's fine. And so let's take it onto the track here and do a little drag racing in Assetto Corsa, which is a cool extra feature that you can do. So there we go on the menu. Pretty nice view. Looking to the side, we see our car right there. You want to hit your brake. A little bit late on the tree. The other guy's definitely going to beat us. A little bit early on the shift there. We might be able to beat this guy if we shift a little bit earlier. Let's see here. Yep, he seems to be getting away from us. But yeah, it goes multiple rounds of drag racing before there's a selected winner for sure. And obviously you can go through and tune your gearing. You can tune a bunch of different stuff to be able to get the cars set up the way you want it to. But yeah, the drag racing is actually really, really fun. So come in here. So we haven't actually looked at setups, but so if this was the race car, you could come through and change up your gearing. You can look at the tire compounds. We currently have street, but we can switch to semi-slicks. We got our tire pressures. That's pretty good. We got our fuel. We could technically lower that and get a little less weight in the car. Electronics, traction control, we can go through that and change that if we wanted to. Brake power, and for cars with aero and stuff, you can go through and change the aero. Set my brake. Low on the tree. Actually beating him though. So he had a slow reaction to the tree as well. So this is actually really fun. We are drag racing Fiat Arbaths, which is just really fun. I like that. But yeah, you can come in and bring almost any car. Any type of car that you want. We're pretty... I can't even see him. I know he's over there, but he is way over there somewhere. Switch our view. There he is. And we can almost let him beat him. Or beat us. If we so desire there. I think this is like... What is this? Chat? I think that's like chat. And then this is like showing us power and everything on the run. So that's kind of cool to see how that's working. Go ahead and hit exit. And what we're going to do is we're going to come back in, and we are going to select ourselves a Ooh, I did want to try this one car, the Ferrari F99X Evo. I have wanted to try this car and see how it sounds. Yeah, pretty car there. And we should still be racing the Abarth, I think, if I remember how those options are working. So this should be pretty good. Yeah, we're still racing him. So let's see, settings-wise, we do have a medium slick, hard slick, one with soft slicks. We want as much fuel as we can. Just checking here, generic, brake bias. I wanted to see if there's any, we do have a wing on the back. I just wanted to see if there's any adjustments for that. There is not. Go ahead and get back into the car here. And we're just going to leave the poor little Fiat in the dust with our super Ferrari car here. But yeah, doing the drag racing is definitely a pretty cool little side feature of this game that I would not have thought of. And we'll just coast the rest of the way there to the end, but that is pretty neat. That's a cool car. I like that. That is one neat car. And boom! Hit the end. And that's pretty about all the damage you get on this car. I haven't seen any body parts or anything like that falling off. So that's about as damaged as things get there, as far as I can tell. We're going to exit back out. What I want to do is get a car that I can show you the aero adjustments, because that's really, really important, because that can really change how well you do. So let me see here. Let's go with this guy right here. He's going to absolutely decimate the Abarth, but that's fine. Alright, loading. Alright, there we go. So let's take a look at, you should have some aerodynamics here. We're going with slick soft, GQ low preserve, hot lap, low aggressive. There we go. So here we go with aero. We're going to go max on the aero, and we're going to then take it off and see what lap time we get here. It's obviously going to be a little bit different each time, because the reaction and whatnot is going to be a little bit different every single time, but that's okay. And you see how fast this car gets up to speed. It's pretty insane. And very twitchy. Really did like these Audi cars. These things are insane looking. See how fast we end up making it. 177. Really good brakes in these cars as well. Just let this car roll. Looks like we did a 31-second pass at that. Really good brakes in this thing too. Let's see, we should be able to see what our lap time was. Not really seeing it here. So it looked like we did like a 37 on the tree. So that's what we're going to do now is we're going to come back in here. And we're going to do, let's see, where's my aero? Aero, there we go. We're going to take aero almost completely off, minus some downforce in the back there. And we're going to have soft tires still. So let's see how fast this thing can do this with no aero. See how well that gets in game. A little bit slower on the tree. And you do want to make sure that you stay on your side of the track, or else you will end up having a red light because you end up going into the other lane. Oh yeah, we're getting really high on the 200, 201. Let's see here. So instead of a 37, I think we just did a 30, which is pretty good there. So that shows you the difference there, obviously, with taking the air off. So there's tons of options in the setup. Obviously, not quite as many. It doesn't seem as Project Cars 2 when it comes to setting up the cars, but still quite a few options to customize the car and different modes, which is nice. I wish we had this in Project Cars 2 to be able to come in and do your own championship mode. I would love to be able to work with that, but unfortunately don't have that. So this is kind of a nice option to have, which is pretty cool. So we might see some content made with this on the championship side of things. We'll have to see what we do, but that is Assetto Corsa. What do I think? It's definitely fun to have. When it comes to the sound, definitely Project Cars 2 is going to be probably a much better game sound-wise. Just being able to hear all the different cars at the track, just to hear that track ambient sound is just far better compared to this. When it comes to driving style, definitely like the feel of Project Cars 2 a little bit better. You get a little better grip model from the tires, whereas this seems like the car's a little bit more on ice, which is not, I mean, it's accurate, but it's not accurate to the point of when my tires are warmed up, it shouldn't be total ice. It should be a little bit more grip level is what you should be able to simulate, and that's what you get with Project Cars 2, is that as the tires warm up, you get better grip levels and you get better lap times, whereas this, it doesn't necessarily seem to change. It seems to stay kind of consistently the same. You don't see a real marked improvement. Whereas in Project Cars 2, you can feel the improvement as the tires warm up and as the track warms up as well from having cars on it. So when it comes to a good feel for a sim, I definitely think that the driving style is much better in Project Cars 2, and also with how many times I've raced in Project Cars 2 compared to this, I have not had quite as many. I've had a few issues with AI, but I've never had an AI issue where the car just simply spun me out in the first lap and basically ruined my entire race. I've never really had that. That's more on the lines of NASCAR 21 ignition issues than having that with Project Cars 2. So AI, not super impressed with how they drive in this game, but the overall track look and the look of the game, and just being able to have another game to be able to mess around with, to have fun with, it's a good game. And for the price I paid, I'm very happy with it. So probably have some fun potentially with championship mode in the future. So we'll have to see what I do with that. But anyways, guys, thank you for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed today's video. If you had the original Assetto Corsa when it came out, let me know what your thoughts were on it. And also let me know if I'm totally wrong or correct when it comes to how I'm describing it compared to Project Cars 2. Let me know if you think that's accurate. If not, that's fine. But just let me know. Let me know your thoughts. Be happy to hear what your thoughts are. My thoughts are Project Cars 2 is better, but you might have a different opinion, so let me know. But yeah, there's tons of different other settings that I can go through here and mess around with, and so we'll have to see if we do any other content with this in the future. But anyways, guys, thank you for watching. Hit that like and subscribe button, and we'll see you guys next time. Thanks. Bye-bye.